Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, which means we get to visit with our friend Michael Babcock over at TMZ to get the scoop on today's hottest stories. Good morning, Babcock. How are ya?
Good morning, Maddie. Hey, Jeremy. I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
It's good to see you. We hope you had a great vacation.
I did. It was good. It was good. It was a storm or two, and yeah, it was hot and humid, but it was good. It was fun. But I miss you guys.
It's almost like you came to Missouri.
Yeah,
Right.
But you went to the East Coast.
How fun would that have been?
Right?
we still
yeah.
want you here, Missouri. We need
Yes.
to get you here.
I'm coming one day. Let's go.
Yes. Okay,
Yep.
so let's just hop into Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, that
Yeah.
was, I don't know, unexpected? Did people expect it? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I know I've been kind of going back and forth in my mind on that too. I mean, look, obviously, if anybody lived a hard life, like a hard partying life, and did everything, it was Ozzy Osbourne. So I guess from that standpoint, you say some people say like, oh wow, okay, he made it to 76, and while other people say, okay, that's still relatively young, and perhaps he had more life to live. But I think bottom line is he, you want to talk about somebody who had an incredible career. I mean, to go and to find Black Sabbath and then have all the success in the albums and the Grammys. They won 2 Grammys together. And then they kick him out of the band because, he had, as he had talked about openly, he had issues with alcohol and drugs. So they kick him out. And then he does his own solo thing. He releases 13 solo albums. First 8 go platinum. He wins 5 Grammys. I mean, he did so much. And obviously then there's the reality show, which still to this day, one of MTV's most popular reality shows, maybe the first and only real reality show, because I think that was that was them, and it was definitely uniquely Ozzy. He had over the last couple of years been dealing with some ailments, including a Parkinson's diagnosis. So obviously, very serious stuff. And on July 5th, they had, and this was nice, I think, in hindsight, now that they had this farewell concert for Black Sabbath, and Ozzy performed in Birmingham, in the UK, just miles from where he actually founded the band then decades earlier, and he got that moment with his fans, 40,000 of them live in person, and a lot of people obviously watching online, and I think that was nice for him. And then ultimately they obviously announced yesterday that, surrounded by his family, he passed away.
Mm-hmm. I remember the Osbournes when it came out. I was working on a cruise ship at the time, and we didn't get MTV, so we couldn't watch it. But everybody in the country was talking about it.
Yeah.
Right. People would come on the ship and talk about
it was a huge thing. I had to wait for season 1 to come on DVD so I could watch it on the cruise ship.
Yep.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, it's rare now too. With obviously with streaming as prevalent as it is, but like like everyone was watching it at that time. It was almost like a shared experience. So yeah, it was really such a big deal at the time, and I think a lot of people now probably go back and watch the show. But yeah, a lot of fans obviously very sad over the news.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk then about Eric Menendez as well. He's kind of facing his own ailments. He's been hospitalized.
Yeah, yes, he has. So he is actually not, and obviously he wants out of prison. He is not technically in prison right now because he is in a hospital, a nearby hospital, since Friday, since July 18th, actually. So yesterday, Harvey was talking to Mark Garagos, who is Eric and Lyle's attorney. And he says, Eric is dealing with a really serious medical condition. So I think a lot of people at the time say, is it something really bad? A diagnosis like cancer, something to that effect. Well, it ends up being kidney stones, but still hospitalized him. So I imagine obviously something they felt like they couldn't treat inside the prison. So they go to the hospital. Here's the thing. So now Garagos is asking Governor Newsom, the California governor, of course, for a furlough, a medical furlough, essentially, which would free him temporarily so he could deal with the kidney stones. Right now, he's still in custody. If he was furloughed, he could theoretically go home or go to other doctors, whatever it might be. Well, he has a hearing along with his brother on August 22nd, a parole hearing. So it's theoretically he could get furloughed. He could never be behind bars again. He could get furloughed and he could go home, and then he could be home on August 22nd, and they could say, you're out. And he would never step foot in a prison again, at least not for this crime. So that's, I think, perfect scenario for him. Will it happen? Probably, likely not. But that's what they want. That's what he wants, at least.
Michael, I was watching. By the way, I am loving TMZ's socials right now. Your Instagram is fantastic. I was watching the video yesterday of Harvey talking about how he thinks 100% they'll get out of jail.
Oh yeah, he is. I think he's very convinced, and he does a podcast, and he knows Mark, and they're friendly with one another. So I think he probably has a good feel for what's happening, and obviously Mark has been through bunch of these big cases. So yeah, I mean, would I be shocked if they got out? No, I would probably be surprised if he got furloughed and never was in, jail for another minute. But if they get out on August 22nd, will I be shocked? No, only from the standpoint that Gavin Newsom clearly is running for president in 2028, and I don't know that freeing two people who shot their parents,
right,
would look good for him.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of your soft on crime if that happens. So I don't know. I don't see the play, to be honest. But I mean, hey, he's the governor. I'm not. So I'm
Well, and isn't it the DA, the district attorney, that wants to keep them behind bars? Attorney General.
Yeah, there's kind of like, so not for this, Maddie. There's two tracks going on. There's something going on in the court system in LA because it's a state charge, so it's not a federal charge. So there's something happening in a state court where he was originally convicted, but then the governor ordered something to be done, like a threat assessment, basically by the parole board. So he's got his own thing going, and he could pardon them. He could commute the sentence. I mean, he has a lot of power as governor. So yeah, if he wants them out, they can be out. It's just a matter of what does that do for his political ambitions, which he obviously has many, and he wants to be president, clearly.
But so you said the parole hearing is August 22nd. So if they go through the parole hearing and they get paroled, that's not on the governor then, though. Yeah. So his hands are clean.
He could, sure, but he could also just commute their sentence too at any point, even or separate of what the parole board says. He has asked the parole board to conduct a threat assessment. Essentially, hey, you guys do this for a living. Tell me if you think they're dangerous. And if they come back and they say, parole board says, hey, they're not dangerous, then that might give the governor cover to say, okay, you're out. Because right now they're serving a life without the possibility of parole sentence. So they need things to happen for them even to have the opportunity to be paroled. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on with the case, and it is possible in late August that they would be free.
I've had kidney stones, and as painful as they are, I don't know if I would call them as serious as they
I think when you originally heard what Mark said, yeah, no doubt. I think a lot of people, when they originally heard what Mark said, and it's on video, I think they thought, okay, this is something life-threatening, and maybe it's not treated. I don't know. Yeah, I'm obviously not a doctor, but yeah, I think people probably thought something different, but nonetheless, he's in the hospital now. So, yeah.
I was thinking, think about this, being in prison that long and being in a hospital, it probably feels like he's in a 5-star suite right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably enjoying every second of this.
He's at the Four Seasons.
Like the Ritz, yeah.
The Ritz.
You're not kidding. I'm sure they'd be, and who wants to be in the hospital? They would want to be in the hospital over prison. I am positive of that. So.
Okay, well, Michael, last question. I wanted to hop back to Ozzy. Was he in the UK or is he in Los Angeles? Is that where he and his family?
You know what? I'm not. That's a great question.
Okay.
I am not sure about that. He obviously, on July 5th, he was in Birmingham, and they did say he was surrounded by the family. So that's a good question. I'm not sure we know that, Maddie.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll keep up to date on your socials.
I'm sure we'll hear a bunch more. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Babcock. Good to see you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye. I'll see you soon.
All right. You can catch TMZ weekdays at 5 p.m. and TMZ Live weekdays at 2 right here on Fox. Hey, we'll be back with lots more fun, and we might be eating rabbit.